This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans, the intro is right tonight. Just me and Wes to start off, although Max Arraj, Mad Max, will be joining us momentarily. He was on the call over in Beaufort for a Donnybrook tonight. A little Loco on Loco spring break special on the baseball diamond. May River and Beaufort going at it back and forth. May River tied it in the top of the seventh, and then Beaufort walked it off. Hudson Mullen walking it off. We got the highlights queued up, but we'll wait for Max to join us and talk about that one. We'll run down the scores as well from around the area. Not a whole lot going on this week with spring break, but we do still have quite a bit on the schedule actually for a spring break slate. And of course, RBC Heritage Week. I've already been getting texts and calls from our friend Carlo Perusa, who's been spotting golfers around the island. I swear the guy, everywhere he goes during Heritage Week, he runs into people. Walgreens seems to be a popular destination. You saw him there today, and he had just seen some golfers around there. So they're here. Heritage Week is here. That's when you get reports like I just saw Colin Morikawa, Taylor Moore, and Tom Kim at Java Burrito. It's that kind of week. So pretty cool. And we'll dig into it a little bit here in a bit, but the field is unreal. I have some stats that I put together on the field today, and it's kind of mind blowing how good it is. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But what'd you get into today, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, just relaxing down the island. Actually, funny thing is, I was at the store to pick up something, and I saw Carlo Perusa over at Publix. Local South End Publix on Hilton Head Island. So that's always kind of fun to see out of the corner of my eye. My man Carlo, who's been a great buddy of mine over the years, and yours too. And hope he's doing well. He's been going through a lot with all the difficulties of his situation, but even so, he's doing great from what I saw.
He's doing great. Oh yeah, he's doing great. Got his doctorate of education in leadership. Yeah, he's a doctor of education now, and helping us actually mentor some of our interns, including Mad Max and Connor Worrell and Brady Satchak. So it's good stuff. But he is employable for people who are looking to hire somebody. He just needs a work visa to be sponsored. But come get him, Carlo Perusa. But anyway, taking a look around the area, some baseball scores. Patrick Henry 2-1 over Colleton Prep. Really good game. Patriots got 2 in the first and then hung on. Forest Ferry with an outstanding effort, 10 Ks. Beaufort 5-4 over May River, as we mentioned. That was a really great game. We'll talk about that at length when Max joins us. Hilton Head blasted Hampton 18-1. Landon Schwartz, it was only 3 innings. He went the distance and struck out 6. A bunch of people did a lot of hitting. Chris Terry hit a home run for Hampton. Bluffton won at Cox Mill, North Carolina, 12-10. One of those kind of fun, off-the-wall spring break games. Miles Fry went 5. Tyler Wolf got the save and had a good day at the plate. And Gavin Carrick hit a 3-run homer. Hilton Head Prep blanked first Prep Christian 7-0. JP Perkey went the distance. Calvin Middleton, couple hits, couple RBIs. Vanberg 13-1 over Bridges. Softball, Colleton Prep beat Patrick Henry 9-5. Sydney Stivender, another great outing. Ava Murray, a homer and 4 RBIs. And then a couple soccer scores. JP 2-8-0 over Charleston Collegiate. Patrick Henry 4-2 over the Complete Student on the boys' side. That was girls' score from JP2. Hollis Melnick with a hattie. So, there's a few things going there. Sasha Scenes, the best out there. Yeah, we're trying to get Brady to do a little bit of help us out a little bit with some heritage reporting this week. So he won't be credentialed, but he'll be around.
First off, I mean, before we get into the heritage, though, what a dominant victory from the man, Scotty Scheffler.
Oh,
his second green jacket in just 3 years, and now he's got a baby on the way. Life is good for that man, I'll tell you that.
It's very good. He is, at least as of now, he's still committed to be here this week. Obviously, if his wife goes into labor, that I would suspect that would change his plans, because he was talking about walking off the 17th green at Augusta if he got the call. So I don't doubt that he'd be gone if something came up there. But he does intend to be here. He's still scheduled to play in the Pro-Am and then appear in the media center before or after his pro-am round on Wednesday. So that's good. I mean, it's good that he's still expected to be here if all goes well. Some notes on the field. We've got 8 of the top 10 players in the world golf rankings. John Rahm, obviously a live guy, and then Victor Hovland was committed, but he withdrew after a poor showing at the Masters. So that one's unfortunate to see him fall off, but we still got 8 of the top 10, 16 of the top 20. The other 2 that are missing are Matsuyama and Tyrrell Hatton, and 26 of the top 30. So I was going to ask you, this is just a random pop quiz, just to see, for fun. How many players in the field do you think are ranked ahead of Justin Thomas in the world golf rankings?
Ooh. Justin Thomas, I mean, I would think he'd be around top 20, top 30s. I mean, he's been right there for a number of years. Certainly, he's gone off. He's cooled off a bit, but probably a handful, over under a dozen or so.
25. He's the 26th highest ranked golfer in this field.
Wow.
And that is a huge name and a 2-time major champion. He's ranked 30th. He's ranked 30th. There are 20.
So I was right on the rankings.
Yeah, you were. Yeah,
but I just didn't realize.
Isn't that a staggering number when you put it in perspective, though? Like 25 guys ranked higher than Justin Thomas are going to be here this weekend, and they'll all be here all weekend because we don't have a cut anymore this year. So, I mean that kind of blew my mind when I thought about it in those terms. You got 43 of the top 50 players in the world. 63 of the top 100, 6 of the last 8 major champions, with Scheffler twice in that mix. Clark, Harmon, Thomas, Fitzpatrick. The only guys you're missing are Rahm and Koepka. And then in the field, by my count, we've got 23 majors won by 15 different players, led by Rory McIlroy with 4, Jordan Spieth with 3, Thomas, Morikawa, and Scheffler with 2 each, then Fitzpatrick, Clark, Harmon, Woodland, and Lowry, who both received sponsors exemptions, as well as Webb Simpson, Jason Day, Keegan Bradley, Justin Rose, and Lucas Glover. So that's pretty fun stuff. Fun numbers from the field this year. So pretty excited for this year's tournament. Going to be definitely a different feel than, I think it's a continued evolution. I think about some of those years where we were, looking at the top 30 in the world, and it was like maybe we got 3 or 4 of those guys. And now we're, looking at 26. So it's going to be really cool. I've also seen that there's additional stands that have been constructed, like behind one tee box. So it sounds like they've gotten creative about trying to make this a little bit more of, expand the footprint a little bit, I guess, expand how many people can get in there and how much they can see. So I'm just excited to get out to Harbortown this week and feel the vibes, man. It's get your plaid on, boys and girls. It's that week.
Yeah, crazy. Time flies, and all of a sudden you're here, and now you get to see Matty Fitzpatrick, the defending champion, who won a thriller a year ago. I mean, that was a terrific tournament. Spieth almost won his second in a row and came down to the very end. But Matty Fitzpatrick, a guy who said was destined to win here at some points, and he got it done. And now, it's cool to see him come back as the defending champ and see what he can do in this. It's interesting because are there any, when you're looking at the smaller field, are there any? I mean, obviously the guy whoever wins the Heritage will be ranked high enough to get back here, but in terms of the exemptions, are there any opportunities because that's the one?
Yes, past champs still remained exempt to some degree.
Okay.
I think. Well, actually, I don't know that that's true anymore. Looking at the field based on the categories, almost all of them qualified as top 50 on last year's FedEx rankings. And then there's the Aon Next 10. I'm not sure exactly what that is, and the Aon Swing 5. So I think those have to do with mid-season point, reshuffles. Two guys qualified through current year tournament wins, so they got themselves in by winning this season. Justin Thomas was exempted in as top 30 world golf, and he's number 30, so he was barely exempt there. And then four guys on sponsor exemptions were Kisner, Lowry, Simpson, and Woodland. So yeah, that's how the field comes together. Yeah, I like you obviously for years we had guys who past champs were forever exempt. So you had guys like Glenn Day and like guys.
Yep. Oh.
It was like the only tournament they got to play that season.
Lost you for a second there.
Yeah, my headphones died. I think their battery's dying, like where it doesn't charge good enough anymore. But yeah, we for a while there we had guys that like Jose Caceres and Glenn Day and guys that played the year, and it was one of only two.
And then we had the Peter Leonards and the Aaron Badleys, and kind of those guys who. It was a cool story to see him win, but now we're seeing the cream of the crop. I mean, we've always had some big names. Davis Love kind of really it was huge to have a guy like him who is a decorated winner on the tour to see him be like one of the all-time leaders in wins here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
five-timer. He's a Hall of Famer. So yeah, I mean, he was kind of he carried the banner through the 90s and 2000s for the place. And Stuart Sink was another guy. There have been some really great,
and he won it 21. Yep, he's won it 3 times, I believe.
He won
early like 2000, maybe very very close. I know he won 04. Maybe
2000, 04,
4 and 21. Yep.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yep.
That was wild. But well, hey, our friend Max Arraj has joined us here, so let's get him in. What's going on, Max?
What's up, guys?
Had a good one over on the Isle of Ladies tonight, buddy. Quite a game. You got to make some very excited calls because everybody was battling back and forth.
Wes, did you have a question, man?
Oh, were you doing play-by-play or were you just doing color?
I was doing play-by-play.
Hey, nice. See, you got to call a walk-off after you missed the Weller bomb.
Yeah, that's true. Karma, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Great game. Knowing how good May River is, that's an impressive win for Beaufort. They've struggled a little bit this season, but they've also had a pretty tough schedule as well. And they still have a tough schedule ahead of them. They still have to play May River one more time on Wednesday, and then they end up playing Hanahan twice. And Hanahan's always a very dangerous, very good team. So this game was such a great game. I mean, both teams scored a run in the first, and then May River took a run in the third inning to go ahead 2-1. And then Beaufort had the big inning in the fourth, scoring 2 runs in the fourth, and then scoring a run in the fifth to cushion their lead 4-2. And then May River scored a run in the sixth and the seventh to tie it up at 4 apiece. And then obviously Hudson Mullen, Big Huddy, with the walk-off. And I thought he almost hit that over. He smoked that ball down the gap. So a great win for Beaufort. It's an impressive win too, because we know May River is really good, and they've been good all season.
They did it despite a big game for Joseph Schroeder, who went 4 for 4.
Yeah. Schroeder. Yeah, we had someone in the comments ask, why do you pitch to Schroeder to get the game winning or the game tying run? And I was like, I kind of wondered.
He tied it with a double, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 outs in the 7th.
They could have intentionally walked him to bring up the next batter, and I don't know why they didn't. Because with the way he played tonight, I was like, wow, you're gonna let the Schroeder hit? Okay, we'll see how it goes. And sure enough, they scored a game tying run. In the top of the 7th. But Buford, man, they had their chance. I think it was down to their final strike too in the inning, and Hudson Mullen just ripped one to left center just for the walk-off win. Yeah, he smoked that ball.
We'll see it here eventually. We got a pretty extensive highlight reel here from our boy Javon Buford's home.
Yeah, not Hudson Mullen. Sorry, Malcolm Webb had a great game on the mound today for Buford, and so did sorry, I've lost the name. Hargis, I think for
Logan Hargis.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
Yeah. He had a great game as well. It was a real good pitching / kind of defensive duel, but there was a ton of offense in it as well. So all around, like, fantastic game.
Webb had a hell of a bunt too.
Yeah, dude, Beaver played some small ball tonight. They had a lot of bunts that they got for singles. I was like, wow, this is one way of doing it. I mean, they got on base, so they kept doing it, and I was like, okay, I like the way they're thinking.
Put the pressure on. They rattled them a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there was some really good defense played too, though. Like, I saw Guthrie make a couple of sick plays at third for May River. I was kind of coming in and out, but I saw some nice defense as well. I think both these teams are still, scary teams to play in a postseason situation. They all have, lineups that top to bottom guys give good at bats and pretty tough. And they've got enough pitching to be a problem. So I like both of them.
Yeah, they're. I mean, we thought I thought going into this game, May River may have been the better team, and Beaver kind of showed us wrong, saying, "Hey, we can go step for step with May River and their pitching," and they did. They 100% did, and so you got game 2 on Wednesday at May River. I think it's going to be a good one again. The way those two teams played, it was going to be a really good game. So
I mean, May River didn't throw their 1 or their 2, so.
No, but I still they both pitched. I mean, both Hargis and Schroeder pitched a great game, and that shows the depth. I mean, that also shows the depth that May River has at pitching. It shows that they have more than just their 1-2 pitchers.
I wonder who we'll see on Wednesday, because I mean,
that's
Will we get Mullen? Will we get Korn? It could be a pretty good. There's still some really good arms left.
Mullen. I do like the idea of Mullen versus Korn. I think that would be fantastic. That would be great.
Be pretty fun. I don't know. They may be giving Korn and Brasington both this week off with James Island next week, but they have James Island next week, right? So
I believe so. Yeah. They have Philip Simmons on tomorrow. Actually, they play Philip Simmons tomorrow. So they play Buford tonight, Philip Simmons tomorrow, and then Buford on Wednesday.
Solid.
So that should be in. They may have to pitch. They may pitch Will Korn on Wednesday. Now that I'm thinking about it, they may possibly pitch Will Korn on Wednesday, and then that gives him plenty of rest to pitch against James Island on either Monday or Wednesday. And then they still have to play a game against Lucy Beckham as well. So interesting stretch of games for May River.
And I like this little home and home, rivalry during this time, spring break. It kind of keeps you fresh and, go up against this is a time where you sometimes go elsewhere to find talent, which is, a good change of pace. And sometimes we used to have a spring break tournament in Hilton Head, which is not it's not continued anymore, but we used to have one every year where teams would come here the spring break, and both situations can be helpful, but for us, for sure, it's cool to see more local and local games happening despite the spring break. But this was a heck of a game, and I'm pumped to see the rematch on Wednesday at May River. And
and I should I should remind everyone this will be a future region matchup.
Yeah, coming up in 4A next year.
Next year it will be a region matchup. Yeah, again.
As it was
it was only a couple years ago that it was a district championship matchup.
So. That was fantastic. Buford beat them twice. To win the district. Tank. Yeah. That was a
This is
that was great.
That was fun.
I am pumped for for what the 4A region is going to look like next year, because you add in Buford High School to that mix, and it's just that region's now all Loco. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, and Bishop England. Yeah, plus Bishop England. We could consider we don't consider it Loco here, but they're still considered the Loco.
Right. But, I mean, yes, they're part of the Lowcountry, but they're not yet part of our coverage area.
Right. Still, it was probably the best game I've been to high school wise this season, because I've had a lot of kind of blowouts. I was thinking May River was going to pull away, and then Buford just kept hanging in there, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a really good game. And of course, it came down to the wire. It was really fun. I enjoyed every minute of it, and we had a good crowd out there tonight too. And towards the end of the game, those fans were getting into it on both sides. So,
I mean, there's definitely a good little rivalry there.
Yeah, when I was at that region championship game, the district championship game, that was the best baseball crowd I've seen. Buford fans it was packed.
They were. I mean,
Kirkland Crazies just kept going and going for both those games, and it was really cool to be a part of. And May River fans were there too, so I'm hoping we can get some sort. I mean, obviously it was spring break, and you don't expect so many students, but I would love to see the support once both these teams get into the playoffs, because especially Buford, those fans, Kirkland Crazies. I mean, they're called that for a reason. They are passionate and they support their guys. And
that game on Wednesday, I have a feeling is going to be another good one. And I also think the crowd's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I have to make my way down there on the Heritage Eve and catch some of that.
Yeah, for sure. That's I believe Carter Womack now was pitching. He came in relief of Malcolm Webb late into the game. I should mention Malcolm Webb. I don't know what happened. I think it was bottom of the fourth. Was it bottom four? Yeah, it was bottom four. He grabbed his wrist about halfway through the inning, and I wasn't sure what was going on. He started grabbing his wrist, looked like he was in pain. Somehow he finished out the inning, but maybe something to look at, because it looked like something went wrong with his wrist. So I'm not sure what happened there. But hopefully he's all right. He ended up finishing the inning off, but Carter Womack came in the very next inning. So I'm not sure what's going on with Malcolm Webb. I hope he's okay.
Hopefully just got him out as a precaution, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, and he was pitching a great game too. So that was. I'm trying to remember where the.
So we're bottom 6. Here we go.
So this is where it got interesting.
Yes, indeed.
So May River was basically down to their final strike of the game, and Schroeder smacked one up the right center gap to tie the game up with. I think it was a 3-2 count with with 2 outs. I think that's what it was.
That was a dirty pitch to get cornered.
Yeah.
So then you got Joe Schroeder.
Yep, there it is. Yep, 3-2, 2 outs, and he hit one to the gap, man. And they tied the game up, and them boys were going nuts. The crowd was going crazy too.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
And Womack, I believe, struck it out here to finish out the top of the 7th.
Got him.
Yep, there we go. And he was not happy. He was so He was so mad Schroeder had that double.
That little sinker against.
Yeah, it was. That was such a. I was so happy that I got to do play-by-play for that game. I was so happy.
You were definitely enjoying yourself. There was good energy.
I was having so much fun. I was like, finally, I got a real good game to work with here.
Yeah, it was good energy for sure.
Let's see. I believe this is Logan Brucher for Yeah, struck him out there, and I was like, "Oh God, here we go!" And here's Mullen.
Second,
goodbye.
Buddy got it.
He smoked it too. I thought that one was gone for sure, and it dropped right in front of the fence. I was like, "Wow!" It's still, they get the walk-off win.
So it looked gone off the bat.
Yeah, just what a great game for both Beaufort and May River, and I expect it to be the same, hopefully, for Game 2 on Wednesday at May River.
Yeah, part 2. On Wednesday. Good times. So Mullen 2 for 4 with the walk-off double, 2 RBIs. Carter Womack got the win with 2 innings of relief, but Malcolm Webb really pitched well to shut him down for most of the game. Will Heron 2 for 3 with an RBI. Hollingsworth a double. Joe Schroeder 4 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs, and Brazington 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored for May River. So that was a good one, boys.
Yeah.
Good times. And we get another one on Wednesday. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports keep us going. It starts with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with Keller Williams, the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco, or maybe find a new place in the Lowco. If you want to put your house on the market and make an upgrade, it's a great time to get into the Lowco real estate market with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. Homegrown Home Inspections is our official home inspector, and Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the business when it comes to making sure you're making a great investment. So if you are looking to get into that real estate market, you definitely want to have Homegrown Home Inspections. Take a look at things first. And Mickelson Law Firm is our official real estate closing attorney and our original sponsor. And since 2017, they've been supporting LowcoSports. They're the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And let's talk about that after the break.
Yeah.
About those Eagles, because they had a really good weekend as well. Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs, and Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of LowcoSports, the only not-for-profit hospice in Southern Beaufort County. And they provide many community services, including palliative care, free grief counseling, and mental health counseling. And they do it all without taking people coming out of pocket, because they're not for profit. So Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Hilton Head Christian, we talked Friday night about the tough loss in game 1 of that series, but came back and took game 2 against AC Flora. Really impressive performance by the Eagles against a really quality squad. James Crosby pitched phenomenally. Dylan Clark hit a 2-run homer that seemed to disappear from the broadcast somehow. I'm not sure what happened there, but so I didn't get to see it, but I know that he hit it to put them up 5-0, and then they held on 5-3. So awesome win for those guys.
Yeah, Max, proud alum.
Yeah,
they're raking. They're raking right now. So many guys that can beat you.
Yeah, I looked at this game. I looked at this series, and I was like, it's going to be a tough series, but I have a feeling if they lose the first game, I had a feeling they would figure them out in the first game and come into the second game played much better, and they did exactly that. You lost by 4 in the first game. You end up taking the win in game 2, which was huge for the Eagles. Again, man, this is a 5A. I believe this is a 5A public school team that you just 4A. Are they 4A?
No.
Okay. A 4A team who's had a dominant baseball program over the years.
There's a bunch of state championship banners out there in right field.
Yep.
Yeah. We're talking about a program who's won multiple state titles, and it's so good to see Christian Academy playing the way that they are. It's good challenge for them too. As you head towards the later part of this season, you still got 3 more games to play after this. They don't play until Friday. I believe they're in Augusta at Augusta Christian. And then they play against Colleton Prep. That should be an interesting one. See how that game goes. And then they're at JB2 to finish off the season and head towards the playoffs with potentially a run at the number 1 seed if they can keep playing like this. It's a good win for Hilton Head Christian Academy. A game doesn't really matter in any way, shape, or form, but it matters. If it does matter, it matters that they can beat some of the top teams in the state, and they're showing it. And it's a good sign to see from Hilton Head Christian as they head to their that final stretch of the regular season.
Indeed. They're tough. They'll be tough. They'll be a problem, a big problem in Skeeza 3. I don't know enough about what the rest of the state looks like, but I know PD is always solid. There'll be teams that'll give them all they want. I think one thing that playing somebody like Flora does is you saw them run themselves out of a couple situations there, getting a little aggressive, and I think it just kind of, you play against the competition you play against, and it looks a certain way, and your timing gets kind of in sync with what that looks like. And you go play Flora, and the game speeds up a little bit, and it just kind of recalibrates you to what it's going to look like. Like, oh, okay, yeah, like can't get away with that against teams like this. So I think it's really useful for them to play that series. And see, just kind of remind themselves of what it looks like when you play against somebody who's like really on your level or a tick above. What you have to change how you play a little bit. You have to respect a little bit more. So I think that was good to see.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good thing. And like I said, you lose that first game 6-2. Close game. But obviously it didn't go the way they wanted. But seeing how they played the second game, it shows me that they can learn about ways to beat a team and can use that going into the next game they play that team, or whenever they play that team again. Like Hilton Head Prep, they lost their first game against Hilton Head Prep. It was kind of a smack in the face saying, hey, there will be times like this where you could get sucker punched and you just didn't see it coming. But they learned from that. They learned how to beat Prep, and they came in and destroyed Prep the next 2 games they faced them. So I think that's a really good sign if you're Hilton Head Christian, because it shows, let's say you play a team in the playoffs, you lose to them. Then you have to play them later on in the playoffs because it's a double elimination thing. So you could play the same team again. You play that same team a second time, you've learned from the mistakes you made against that team and go out and beat them. So I think that's really important. If Hilton Head Christian can keep doing stuff like that, especially against some of the best teams in a storied program like AC Flora, I'm not worried about Hilton Head Christian Academy going towards the playoffs.
No, we've definitely seen enough to know. To see them tested enough to know that they're of that caliber.
Yeah, for sure.
It's baseball, so you got to go out and execute because anybody can beat anybody. But they're definitely of that caliber. They're solid. Crosby was outstanding in that.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He was terrific. Mickelson came in and got the last out, I think, but Crosby went almost the whole game against a really good lineup. Bay. He's been really solid.
So I do have some rankings here according to Max Preps. Don't know how reliable this is. But
not even all the scores are in there. Like it's just
that's true. It shows, this could be true. This could not be true. Hilton Head Christian Academy is ranked right now top 15 in the state. And you know what? I don't disagree with it. I really don't. I know it's probably not a true ranking.
It's just like,
but I think they could be
one of the top teams for baseball though. Like not even
still, even if it's not true, even if that's not a true ranking, which it probably isn't, but you look at that and you say, it shows how good they can be. It shows what they are, what they could be. They are, I believe, one of the top teams in the state this season.
It's a quality win. If you be a team like that, you can handle anybody you face in skis. They're a leg above most skis squads. So you know for a fact that you're right up there and are in contention. You just, once again, it's all about staying healthy at this point, because we saw it happen a year ago, and you have to deliver when it matters, and you have to really configure that right mentality. And that's something that we didn't see early in the season. It's definitely happened a bit more now, but you have to continue what you've been doing and just keep putting the foot in the gas.
Yep.
Well, that's true.
Locked in.
Yeah, they are locked in. I mean, the other thing is, you look at their schedule that they've had so far this season. That is a challenging schedule to look at. I mean, you're playing Hilton Head High School. You're playing James Island High School. James Island's one of the best teams in 4A right now, 4A high school sports right now in terms of baseball. You lost to them only by 2. You lost the 6-4 game to them. I mean, that's extremely impressive. Then you play a team like Stratford. Stratford's not an easy team to play either. And then you go and play a 2-game weekend series against AC Flora. I mean, that is a really tough schedule, and their record is 15-5. That shows just like how talented, and when they play together, how good this team can be.
Yeah, they're looking good. Hey, I got to the softball game for a little bit the other day. Although May River was already all over Colleton. They ended up beating them 11-2. Sharks, I mean, remember they put up 26 on Friday night, and then they jumped on Colleton Saturday and won 11-2. So they, speaking of going and taking your lumps, he went and they went and played in that Swamp Fox thing, Ashley Ridge thing up at Westcott a couple weeks ago, and got beat up pretty good. But again, it seems to have, kind of jolted them because they're swinging the heck out of the bats right now. We talked about Allie Belcher's night on Friday where she hit for the cycle plus a double and had 8 RBIs. They had some really good stat lines. I thought I had them in here, but they had some really nice stat lines again on Saturday against Colleton. And Olivia Nagel was the standout on Saturday. She went the distance in the circle. She's been doing that more and more. Then let's see. She also had a big game at the plate, 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs. Olivia Williams was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And Michaela Landry and Anna Caraballo also had 2 hits. So, that May River team's looking good. They should be playing James Island again. Yeah, the 24th. So they're off now until they play James Island and Lucy Beckham both at home, the 24th and 26th. And that's going to be like, that's going to be like the, that'll decide the region championship, basically, those couple of games. So that's going to be fun.
It's going to be an exciting time in these next few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be great coming down to that final stretch too.
Once you hit May, it's all in the playoffs. So you got another week of normal region play before you hit playoffs. It's getting
our spring break. Our spring break is always kind of weird.
It's so late because of the heritage, of course.
So
it's a very late spring break.
It feels like the Max, aka Homer. You talking about HHCA? Because he is a homer for HHCA.
Homer Simpson.
But no, our spring break is a little late, so it kind of feels like that week before the penultimate regular season game that all the SEC teams play against, the Little Sisters of the Poor the week before their rivalry game.
Yeah. College football, yeah.
Yeah.
Southwest Illinois Baptist or something. He's kind of Alabama.
Yeah. Right. 8 point.
You look at I still got to get out to May River softball game, man. I will most likely try to get out for that James Island or Lucy Becker game.
There's some good ones coming up.
Yeah, there are. There really are. I mean, like you said, Justin, this may decide what the region champs will end up being, who the region champs will be. It's coming down to the wire. It really is. And, it's not just softball either. I mean, we're talking softball, baseball is kind of coming down to the wire too for some of those last spots for the playoffs.
Heck yeah,
you also got men's soccer and women's soccer are coming down the wire too. It's just this region in any sport is so much fun. I have enjoyed every minute of it, no matter what sport it is so far this spring. So a lot of stuff going to come down to the wire in the next week.
No kidding. And we're going to have all kinds of good stuff week after this. James Island Bay River baseball is going to be fun. We should have. When do we get Buford Hanahan baseball? When does that happen?
Ooh.
That's next week, I believe. I believe that is on Monday and Wednesday next week.
Oh, that'll be fun too.
Yeah, they're at home on Monday against Hanahan, and then they're at Hanahan on Wednesday. Right. That's the 22nd and 24th.
I got to get that added to the schedule. I don't have that on there.
So yeah, it's just a lot of good games coming up here in the Lowco area, man. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a great ride.
Yeah.
Indeed. Looking at the other scores tonight on the baseball diamond, since we're kind of talking baseball right now. Patrick Henry 2-1 over Carleton Prep. That was a really good game. They got Bryce Kennard for a couple unearned runs early. He got through 3 2/3, and then Sheffield came in and shut him down the rest of the way to give Carleton Prep a chance, but they just couldn't do enough against Forest Ferry. 10 Ks, 1 run, 5 hits, 2 walks in a complete game. Jacob Corley 2 for 2 with a triple. Ferry had a double and scored a run. Hugh Ferry had a double. Spencer Kelleher, RBI. Jeb Boodle, great name, Jeb Boodle.
Yeah.
3 for 4 for Carleton Prep.
Good sisters as well. I believe his sister was a great softball player, still is.
Yes. Trying to think of her. Is it an H name? Haley Boodle or something like that?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I was just thinking about this the other day, y'all. I used to be able to keep names straight in my head. And
you got all the siblings and the relatives.
I've seen too many generations.
The Gilmans.
Now I totally understand why my grandpa was just like saying random, grandkids' first names at time, hoping he hit the right one, because you can sometimes pull the one name, but I can't find the other one that goes with it anymore. I think it was Haley Boodle, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Good win for Bluffton High School tonight, by the way. Good win for Bluffton High School tonight. They won 12-10. From what it says, they were up in North Carolina today.
Yeah, Cox Mill.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, good win for Bluffton. They got a game against Woodland on Thursday. That's obviously now the region game up in Dorchester. So interesting week for Bluffton varsity. Although it just, you hope they can get those wins against Colleton County.
Well, not if you're a Colleton County fan, you don't.
Well, yeah, that's true. But still, I mean, like Bluffton's still looking for, I believe they're still looking for their first region win this year.
They are.
So, you got a solid chance. We'll see how it goes for them.
Here's Gavin Carrick's 3-run bomb, I believe.
Oh my God.
That thing got out.
That thing was crushed.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy cow. That thing didn't look like it went high enough to get out.
So he must have smoked that ball then.
That's what I'm saying.
He put the bat to the ball. Please. Yeah, I need to watch that again. Hold on.
On that launch angle, that ball got out of the yard? Oh.
That was a line drive homer, man.
Wow. That's grown man strength.
That's holy. That was smoked. That tore the cover off the ball right there. I tell you.
I still am like mesmerized by the fact that angle.
That is
left the yard.
That is a man's. That is a man's.
Must have been still
right
rising when it left the yard.
Oh.
That was smoked.
Oh,
jeez.
They got out. That must have got out too.
Hit that a ton. Man. Wow.
I mean, I know that kid has put in a lot of work, trying to play college football and trying to get an opportunity, and he's gotten very big and strong.
Yeah, he's a big man.
He barreled one up.
Yeah.
He said 240, bro. 2 strike approach. Yeah, that was like a B hack.
That was that was
big daddy hack.
That was a wild.
That was crazy.
Oh, smashed. All right. Anyway, that was fun. Hilton Head beat Hampton County 18-1. Brad Larson 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. Connor McCabe 2 for 3, double, 4 RBIs. Slater also broke 1 for 1, 3 walks, 3 RBIs, 4 runs. They all did it. Good pitching for Bluffton too, from Tyler Wolf coming in relief to help him lock it down. It started out, it was a slugfest. It was 12-8 after 3 innings and ended up 12-10. And I've noticed that Bluffton's had a couple of the JV guys, coming up and helping out and doing some damage. James Basil had a good game on the mound the other day against Battery Creek. Dawson Coonsey was 2 for 4 tonight. So young guys coming up. That's fun.
Coming up the ranks.
It's always fun. Nice win for Hilton Head Prep. And then Colleton Prep softball is another one that we're going to have to.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to lock into here at the end of the season because they're bound to be one of the last ones standing. So
great program for a number of years.
Really solid pitcher, and then they can swing it. They got a bunch you can hit. Good times. Let's shout out some sponsors, boys. The varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So if you need to get found online so you can think more, think bigger, and do more, you can call on DDS, DDSHHI.com. I need to think more, honestly. Parker Law Group is serving legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years, and they jumped on board with us this year to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Reverence Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports, and we just shared something on Facebook today. They've got a free freestyle camp coming up, as well as their Reverence Ironman tournament. So some great opportunities to get on the mat over at Reverence Wrestling Club. Check them out on Facebook to see what all they got going on. And Dr. Ambrose Cole is the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton. He'll get you feeling better, mind, body, and spirit. That's Dr. Ambrose Cole. Those are our varsity sponsors. Max, we talked a little bit about it earlier, but before you got here, but Heritage Week, baby. Our buddy Carlo reported he's been sending me, he's been spotting golfers all over the island. Wyndham Clark at the Walgreens. Every year he meets someone at the Walgreens. He met Scheffler at the Walgreens last year. Apparently, Walgreens, place to be. He's seen people at Java Burrito tonight, calling Markawa out to dinner. So it's just that kind of weird week.
Yeah.
Ed, you had any celeb sightings yet?
Not yet, but how about you? Have you seen any?
Who did I see the other day? I don't. Actually, it was a couple months back. I was on the south end of Hilton Head a couple months back, and I see Matt Kuchar walk up to the Starbucks on the south end of Hilton Head. Yeah,
that one doesn't compute. He's not.
Interesting.
Not exempt.
That's wild. That's a defending champion. That's not gonna.
That's a past champ. Yeah, he's no longer.
Or not defending champion, but of course.
Yeah, but anyway, I have not seen any celebrities yet this week, but I'm sure I'm bound to see one eventually. So
they're here.
We shall see. Yeah, they are here.
Be on the lookout for those courtesy cars.
At airport.
I saw one of those at the grocery store.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you see them everywhere, man. It's so funny.
Who you guys got this week? Who you guys got in the Heritage?
I looked it over.
I'm not gonna. I will. I'm not
make
going
my pick yet.
I'm not going with Scotty Scheffler.
No, it's
the
as much as
I just paid for his coffee. That's what.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe he did. Yes, he did.
No, it's going to be a fun week for him, but it's a week of celebration for sure because the Masters win, and also welcoming his new baby boy.
That too.
Yeah.
Did they have they haven't had the baby yet, right?
Is it a boy or girl? Is it a boy?
The baby hasn't been born yet, right?
I'm gonna look.
I think we're on baby watch.
Okay, baby watch, but the baby's coming. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know boy or girl, but I do know that he said he was prepared to walk off the 17th green at Augusta to go home if she went into labor. So I'm guessing the idea is, all right, I'm gonna come home until it's time to go to Hilton Head, and then same plan. If it's time, I'm coming home. But we'll see. What a weird position that's got to be, like, because you don't know when the baby's gonna come.
Well, that's
It could
that's
be
the other.
Yeah. So you can't just like put your whole schedule on hold until it does, like, because what if you miss like a month of golf? Paying the bills.
The other thing was, like, there was a good chance, like, middle of the Masters, he could have just up and left too.
Yeah,
his wife was having a kid.
Yeah,
and, thank God he didn't, I guess, because he ended up winning the Masters.
Yeah.
So
for
second time in 3 years. I'm not going with him this week because, the celebration of the Masters. I don't know if I've ever remembered a Masters winner going over and winning the Heritage the next week. So I usually never go for.
I think it's only happened. I think Hale Irwin did it, or Bernard Longer maybe did it. Like, it's very.
It's like super rare. It's super rare. But I will go. I got to go with the crowd favorite, Jordan Spieth. I just have a weird feeling he's gonna win it this year.
He's
so good he's such a good player when it comes to this course.
Right.
Like, he's a very technical player.
Yeah.
It's a very technical course.
That's a solid pick, a very trendy pick.
You got Spieth. He's made 20. He's
we'll have to take a look at the. Take a look at the obviously
7 for 7 cuts made for Spieth here. Obviously won it. 3 top 10s. Really good scoring average here. So I think that's a solid pick. You know who I like a lot? Well, Cantlay is another guy that he's got 5 top 10s here.
He's another guy who feels like he's going to win at some point.
He's really due to win here. But maybe he's just kind of snake bitten here,
Right. Luke Donald, how many times?
Right. And then I think Cameron Young is a guy who, he's only started here twice, but finished tied for 3rd in 2022.
Morikawa as well, dude.
Morikawa
as well. He might be due for a win here as well.
Schauffele has been really solid here.
Yep.
Be nice to see Brian Harmon play well here again. He's been pretty good here as well. 3 top 10s.
And a hometown connection.
And he's coming off a rough time.
Is McIlroy showing up for this year or not?
Yeah, he's here.
Is he here?
Yeah. So this is the actual field right here, and you can see that we've got
Finau.
Zalatoris as well. Very strong and deep field. Here's another one. Here's a sleeper for you, JT Poston.
I was about to say
3 out of 5 cuts here, but the 3 were all top 10s, and that scoring average here is
really crazy. Good. Yeah, 68, man.
So I think he's a sneaky one.
Yeah,
maybe Cam Davis as well. I think there's, like, if you took Cam's versus the field, take the field, but it's close.
It is close. You know who actually?
Cam Davis.
Schauffele
in there. Cam's for sure.
Yeah, Schauffele is also another player I'm looking at too.
Yeah.
Like Xander might. He had a rough one at the Masters this week. Although he finished off well, it's just you looked at him, you're like, God, he's bound to win a major eventually. But he's also bound to win one here too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
A lot of good golfers, man. I like that they. I like them elevating the purse for the Heritage. I love how they elevated this one. I love it because then you just bring in some of the top golfers in the world to play at the biggest event on Hilton Head every year. It's so great, and this is like the second year now that we've had this like elevated event for the RBC Heritage to have some of the top 30 golfers in the world show up. It's so much fun, and it's such a star-studded lineup too.
This one's gonna be
it's gonna be so much fun. Oh man, I'm excited.
I've been like too busy to really start getting that excited about it which is just how my life has been for the last several years. Like it's like Heritage Week, I get excited, but I don't have time to be excited about it until it gets here. But man, now that I look at the field list and I see 43 of the top 50 in the world, I'm like, I mean, we're talking about like major championship caliber field here. Like, more with it. Unbelievable. Sure. I always think of Steve Wilmot used to always say the two things he can't control are the weather and the leaderboard. And but like he doesn't even have to worry about the leaderboard anymore. It's
right.
Just like there's nobody.
Yeah, there's gonna be a big time. I mean, this is an elevated event. This is like the best of the best.
I mean, you got 63 or 62 of the top 100 or whatever. The only way you could get somebody who's not a big name to win this thing would be like if Kevin Kisner does, and that would be an incredible story because he's number 541 in the world now, and
he's a South Carolina native.
I mean, it's gonna be
he lost in the playoff to Jim Furyk in 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that's true.
He was almost the first South Carolina native to win it, and then
Wesley Bryan did.
Did it right.
And I mean, like we probably, a lot of people have talked about it before. This course, the Harbortown Golf Links, is such a rare kind of course. It is such like a small, thin fairway. It's it's so technical. It's such a technical course. It is so technical, and you got to be so careful with some of your swings on this.
The thing that the guys always talk about is that it's not good enough. It's like the only course they play on tour, or one of the very few, where it's not enough to just hit it as far as you can and keep it in the fairway. Like that, there are holes where that will leave you in jail. Like you can be in the middle of the fairway and be in jail because of the tree that comes in from the right or the left. So you've not only got to place it in the fairway, but you've got to place it on the right side of the fairway at the right depth to have an angle into the green, because the greens are also small, and if you aren't coming at it from the right angle, then you have no chance of holding the green. And so I mean it's an unreal test of golf that's really become a rarity, especially
and it's and it's always been
Hicker's golf course, they say.
And like the players love it, and they keep coming back. And how many guys have rated this as one of the top 5 stops on tour, or if not the top? And some people have. I mean, it's a great test of golf, and it's right near the water. It's just,
to be fair, they either love it or they hate it.
Some do, some hate it, and there
it's
are
not
definitely
suited
some big
for everybody.
Yes,
but
I mean, you mentioned how like people keep coming back to the RBC Heritage. And it's no joke. I mean, what year is it now? Like, how many years has this tournament been on? It's one of the older tournaments on the PGA Tour. It's been here forever.
56th. This is the 56th.
I mean, we went to a point where there was a chance that the RBC Heritage was never going to come back. And now we're at this point where it's an elevated event, and some of the top golfers
it was on
in the
life
world are coming
support for
to
sure.
it. Yeah, it's so cool to see the turnaround for this tournament.
Yeah, I think it went a year without a sponsor.
We need to do a 30 for 30 on the year without the sponsor. I mean, it was a tense time, man. Like we really didn't know what was going to happen, and I mean, that can always. It's never a guarantee. You got to renegotiate those contracts all the time and all those things. But from where we were to, I mean, I remember having some pretty stark conversations with people about the future of the tournament or lack thereof, and then RBC steps to the table and we're going, Royal Bank of Canada, why? This doesn't make any sense. And obviously some really intelligent marketing folks at RBC had a much bigger plan in mind. And look now,
they already sponsored the Canadian Open, so it's a pretty big name.
Right. Then when you started to, now looking back, it's like, oh, obviously they had success sponsoring the Canadian Open and sponsoring some golfers, and they were looking to expand, their footprint there. And this became a great opportunity. And it just so happens that, wow, a lot of people from Canada vacation in Hilton Head. And, there's a natural connection there. And then, you bring in the Team RBC thing, which they've expanded tremendously. And now you've got, they've got a massive footprint in professional golf.
They do.
And this tournament has benefited, they've grown together through that partnership. So it's been really cool. I think, obviously a lot of things, the tour has to get a lot of credit too for some things that they pushed toward the heritage that helped it kind of raise its profile. Not only allowing them to continue for a year without a sponsor, which was, unheard of. To just have the heritage. That was a strange thing. But they allowed them to do that because they believed in the people and the venue and the event. And then, they gave them the opportunity to be the first tournament back in COVID, after losing our date that April. That was huge, to be able to still have a tournament that year. And it also, in doing so, brought a lot of the guys who didn't usually come here just because of where it fell on the schedule to play. And they went, oh, wow, why haven't I been playing this golf course? And so they started coming back. And then, I don't know how much the players have input into which tournaments are elevated events and things like that. But I would suspect that the Players Union probably has some sway in that. And, I think that obviously the profile of the tournament has raised to the point where now it's one of those elevated events. Now it's one of these signature events where we've got no cut. And I'm guessing that's probably got something to do with the guys who are heavy hitters on tour saying, hey, if there's places we have to go play every year, can you make this one of them?
Yeah, right. I mean, look at the RBC here. They're going into their 55th year of doing this tournament. Again, one of the older tournaments on the PGA Tour. And they've been doing this for quite a while now, since the first year when Arnold Palmer won it. The legend himself won it in the first year, and now you go into your third tournament with this elevated purse. And it's so cool to see how big of a tournament this now has become over the last 50 plus years.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Opening ceremonies tomorrow. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow night. Expecting to have Brian Riedfeld joining us, our golf expert, to talk a little heritage with us tomorrow night. But the Lowco Booster Club, Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives who want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island, especially Heritage Week. They're with Charter One Realty, Revive Rehab, Women's Health, and Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen get new moms feeling right again. Eagle Creations, promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets. Go see their showroom on Argent Boulevard to see what they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Go over there for some spicy conversation and a great style. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom and his team will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. It is Monday night, so we're doing Teams of the Week?
Yeah.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah, I have one queued up, and I am going to go with the Bay River softball team for what they've been doing out there on the diamond. They've been very, very impressive and just keep raking. They got a couple of key wins. Pulling up the schedule right now, but yeah, they're really looking. 26-8 over Hilton. And Allie Belcher, phenomenal. We mentioned the stat line last week: 5 for 5, 2 doubles, triple homer, 8 runs batted in, and the list goes on and on. I mean, how well they've done against local competition, and I'm excited to see him go up against the best of this region because they are looking like a loaded squad right now, and I'm pumped to see how they could potentially take this thing into postseason because they're going to be a dangerous group to face with the overall bats that they have and the way they just continue to rake at the plate. So hopefully I'll be able to see him at some point this year.
Yeah, they got those 2 big games coming up next week after spring break. Should be good stuff. I did get to go check them out on Saturday, and they're fun to watch, man. I really like Coach Lisa Hess. She brings a lot of energy. She gets after them. She stays on them. And she demands greatness. I got to talk with former coach Sean Gleason too, who was over there hanging out next to the dugout. Love talking ball with that guy. Max, who you got for your team of the week? I gotta guess.
It's not Hilton Head Christian.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going the college route. Give me USCB baseball for their huge series sweep over Claflin. And first home runs of the year for USCB. 4 of them. 4. Where did that come from? Julian Glassy with 2 of them.
That came from Denmark or Orangeburg or wherever it is.
Yeah, wherever it is. Give me them. Julian Glassy, 2 homers, 1 in each game on, I believe it was on Friday, Saturday, excuse me. Yeah. On Saturday. And, ADS, Aiden Driscoll, Sandusky getting a homer. Who was the other one? Was it, I'm trying to remember who the other one was.
Hunter Miller.
Hunter Miller, yeah, that's right.
There you go.
Big series sweep. We've talked about how close USCB is to potentially getting that final spot for the Peach Belt Conference tournament, and like we said, it's going to come down to the wire against that in that last series against USC Aiken, and they needed that series sweep against Claflin. So, hats off to USCB, man. They needed that series sweep.
Yep. For sure.
I'm sure they were playing Snake Farm on the way home. You never know.
Maybe.
Snake Farm. Congrats to USCB on the series sweep over Claflin, and hopefully they can continue.
Home this weekend?
They have Flagler home this weekend. They need to get, I think, probably 2 out of 3. 1 out of 3 won't hurt them.
At least one.
USC Aiken, who is the team we're keeping a close eye on USC Aiken because it will come down to that final series against USC Aiken for that last spot. They unfortunately won 2 out of 3 against Augusta this past weekend. So now USCB is sitting, I believe, a game behind USC Aiken for that last spot in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. So I think Flagler needs to win 2 out of 3. USCB needs to win 2 out of 3 against Flagler. So it will come down to that final series against USC Aiken where they can potentially win that series and go on and play in the Peach Belt Conference tournament.
Right on, man. Well, I'll throw some love to that HHCA baseball team then. Not only the split with Flora this weekend, but the region championship win over Hilton Head Prep the other night, 9-1. Really, we've said it all, but really strong club. Hayden Brooks has been really good on the mound all season and was the other night. Crosby's been excellent. Zane Wilson has come back and been really good at times. And they've got some depth down there, and they've got guys here swinging the bat, playing good ball. Love the Bird Boys. Slade is, I love to watch him play, man.
Yeah.
Steele hits some absolute tanks. So it's a fun team, and I look forward to seeing what they can do in the playoffs, and fun coaching stuff too. J-Dub and Eddie and all those guys, and I've coached around a lot of those guys for a number of years, including their JV and middle school coaches. So know a lot of those kids and enjoy seeing them have success. So go Eagles. All right, boys. Well, that'll do it for tonight. Thanks so much to all of our friends who showed up to listen and watch, as well as our our sponsors who make it possible. Thanks to Beaufort's Own. Wes or Max just peaced out. Thanks to Beaufort's Own for making it all possible as well for us to. There he comes. Where did
Sorry,
he go?
I have no idea what happened there. Sorry, my bad.
Just piece it out. Thanks to Beaufort's Own as well for what they do, and being able to show highlights on the show is a really cool thing. So love working together with you guys, and for giving our buddy Mad Max opportunities to get on the mic as well. So thanks, fellas. Been fun. Let's get together again tomorrow night. Talk more about the Heritage with Brian Riedfeld, as well as whatever's happening out there tomorrow night. We got quite a few things on tap again. So we'll keep you posted on what's happening in the Lowco tomorrow night on the Lowdown, 10 o'clock. Until then, for Max Arraj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go